we pit up the way we assess how critical each task is to attend, or how critical each target is to attend to right now, is we go ahead first and we list all the options. Okay, we list all the options in the column. Next, we go ahead and we give each row a specific letter. Okay, so we have each attribute, each value of the carver, of the word carver, will have a different attribute. Okay, so option A, how critical is it? Let's say it's a 2. Option B is only critical 1. Again, we can set our random scale of 1 to 10. We can set it 1 to 5. Again, it has to be consistent throughout the graph, but let's assume that we want to do 1 to 5. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 5, again, option A, in terms of how critical it is, would be a level of 2. Option B, a level of 1. Option C, it's critical at a level of 4. Option D is critical at a level of 2, and option E, let's say, would be critical at a level of E. Next, we'll do the same thing for the accessibility, the A. Okay, how accessible are these options? Okay. Next, we'll take a look at return, or and again, depending on if we're looking at it from a military context, we'll take a look at the recuperability. If we're taking a look at it from the time management context, we'll look at it as far as return. Again, we do the same thing for vulnerability, the same thing for effects, and the same thing for return. Okay. Then what we do is we go ahead and we tally up the total values of each option. Okay. So option A has a total value of 20. Option B has a total value of 11. Option C has a total value of 21. Option D, total value of 18, and option E, 19. Looking at this matrix, looking at this graph, we can see clearly that option C has the highest value, which means that using this matrix in time management and military means that we'll first focus on option C. Option C gets the highest priority. Again, next we'll focus on option A. Then we'll go ahead and focus on option E, option D, etc., and option B. Okay, that's the Carver matrix. So we need to rank the tasks for each specific criteria, for each perspective of Carver. We tally up the overall scores. The highest score gets the highest priority, and the lowest score gets the lowest priority. That's the Carver matrix. Okay. Next, we have what's known as triage. Okay. Triage is actually a system used for crisis management in medicine, medical casualties. It was developed by Baron Larrey. He was a French doctor in the 1800s, and the triage system. He developed the triage system to be able to allocate limited resources on on an as-needed basis. Okay, so it's used to prioritize in a medical crisis, and again, it's a system for allocating limited resources. Okay, the triage system is a 3-tier system for crisis management. Okay, again, it was initially designed for casualties. Actually, it was designed for casualties in war. But since then, also, it's been adopted to time management. Okay, the first tier in the system, would be tier 1, which is a patient who can't survive. In other words, no matter what we give him, based on what we have, no matter what resources we give him, he won't survive. Tier 2 would be the casualty that will only survive if we give him help that we actually have at hand, that we have available. And tier 3 is a patient that the resources that we have now won't make or break his survival rate. Okay? In the triage system, for now we ignore tier 1. We attend to tier 2, and we ignore tier 3. Okay? So tier 1 and tier 3 get ignored, and tier 2 we focus on. Tier 2 gets the highest priority. Okay. Now, just a small point. This is triage in its most basic form. Okay, it's been developed. It's since then it's been expanded on, and it's been tweaked and fine tuned and whatever it is. Because you can have what's called over triage or under triage, where there's either an overestimation or an underestimation. So there were a lot of additions to this system to tweak it to perfection. But for our purposes, let's just take a look at the basic system. And go with that. Now, again, notice that Tier 1 gets ignored for now, Tier 3 gets ignored for now, and Tier 2 gets attended to now. This is because we're looking at the resources that we have. The minute we have more resources available after attending to Tier 2, we'll have to go ahead and reevaluate Tier 1 and Tier 3. Can they survive with the resources that we have? Can the resources that we have now available help them? Okay, so again, this is just for step 1 of the overall crisis picture, step 1 of the overall casualty crisis. Okay, now let's just take a look quickly at how it's been adopted from medicine to time management. Okay, Tier 1 is that the available resources that we have now are not adequate to assist this patient, are not adequate. It won't help him. Okay, it's been the same. It's been translated in a very similar fashion to time management, where the available resources are inadequate to impact or inadequate to get the tasks accomplished. Tier 2, again in medicine, is that is where the available resources that we have will actually assist this patient, and in time management, same thing. The available resources will be able to impact, or with the available resources that we have, we can actually get this task done. And Tier 3 is in medicine, where the available resources are not needed to assist, where the patient, based on the resources that we have, we can't give him anything more than he'll need to survive. And same thing in time management, where the available resources that we have are not necessary to be allocated to get that task done. Okay, the task can get done regardless of the resources that we have. Typically, as a side note, typically Tier 3 in time management, typically these would be what are called the independent tasks. Okay, these are tasks that can get done without the output of other tasks. Okay, as opposed to interdependent tasks or dependent tasks that actually need the output of the tasks that they're dependent on. So it's just, that's just a side note where we'll typically find Tier 3. We'll typically find Tier 3 by the independent tasks. Okay, so that's triage in a nutshell. It's the most basic form of triage, and that's what's typically used in time management as well, where Tier 2 gets the highest priority, Tier 1 gets ignored for now, and Tier 3 gets ignored for now. Okay? Let's just sum it up, where triage is a system, again, used to allocate limited resources. It's a 3-tiered system. The highest priority is assigned to the tasks that we can impact based on the available resources that we have. And for now, what's at hand right now, with 0 hour, we ignore the others. Okay? Let's just sum up what we've gone through. Okay? First, we went through the framework, where we took a look at SMART goals. Right? The goals have to be specific, measurable, attainable, results-based, and time-based. Then we need to make sure that we have efficient tasks. We're going to ask ourselves 6 questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. And then again, we want to make sure that we only allocate the minimal amount of resources, the lowest input for the maximum output. Then we need to categorize the tasks. Some tasks will be dependent on the output of other tasks. Some tasks will be independent. They can be achieved regardless of the fate of other tasks. And some tasks are interdependent, where task A and task B, each task depends on the output of each other. Okay, those are the categorization of, that's the categorization of tasks. And finally, we went through the impact of time. The time, because we're living in a world of time, that restrains the amount that can be done. Because of that impact of time, we need to prioritize. So we looked at six techniques. We looked at the Pareto principle. That's the 80-20 rule. We looked at Covey's quadrants. That's the important versus urgent graph. That's where we have quadrant 1 is crisis. Important and urgent is crisis. Important but not urgent is prevention. Not important but urgent is disruptive tasks, and not important, not urgent are trivial tasks. Again, and we're gonna focus. We're gonna give the highest priority to quadrant 2, the important but not urgent tasks, while at the same time quadrant 1, the important and urgent tasks, which are the tasks that put us in crisis mode, or the tasks that are, or the crisis management tasks, get attended to first, albeit with a lower priority. Then we took a look at the paired comparison analysis. That's where we pair each task against each other and assign a value. We looked at the action priority matrix, right? That's where we'll see the level of effort versus impact on a task that each task carries, and then we go with the highest impact, lowest effort first, the highest impact, higher effort second, finally the lower impact, high effort third, and low impact, low effort, low impact, high impact, low effort third, and high impact, low effort fourth. Okay. Then we took a look at Carver. That's a system where we take a look at. That was a system that was developed by. That was a military system developed for deciding which targets to hit up first with limited resources, and it's been translated into time management as well. And finally, we looked at triage. Triage is, again, that was a medical system designed to allocate limited resources to medical casualties, and it's been adapted to time management as well. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. We're going to open up the lines now. For questions and answers, and I really appreciate the